Have you ever stopped to count the number of notifications you receive in a single day? It's a staggering number that can easily go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of our daily routines. Emails, text messages, social media updates, the constant barrage of alerts has become a ubiquitous soundtrack to modern life. Each ping, buzz, and flash demands our immediate attention, pulling us away from whatever we were doing. A recent study found that the average person interacts with their smartphone over 2,500 times per day. This is a dramatic increase from just a decade ago, reflecting how deeply integrated these devices have become in our lives. That's over 170 interactions every waking hour. Imagine the sheer volume of information our brains are processing in such a short span of time. This incessant digital chatter has profound implications for our brains. Each notification triggers a spike in brain activity, disrupting our focus and fragmenting our thoughts. Our minds are not designed to process such a relentless stream of information. The constant influx can lead to cognitive overload, making it difficult to concentrate on a single task. We are bombarded with news, gossip, and advertisements, all vying for our precious attention. This digital noise can drown out the important messages and moments in our lives. The result? A state of chronic distraction that undermines our ability to focus, think critically, and form meaningful connections. Our productivity suffers, and our mental well-being takes a hit. In the past, information was a scarce resource. We sought it out deliberately, savoring the words on a page or the images in a photograph. This intentional consumption allowed us to fully engage with the content and reflect on its meaning. Today, information comes to us, unfiltered and often unwanted. The sheer volume can be overwhelming, leaving us feeling anxious and stressed. It's time to reclaim our attention and cultivate healthier digital habits. By setting boundaries and being mindful of our digital consumption, we can create a more balanced and fulfilling life. Turn off unnecessary notifications, take regular breaks from screens, and engage in activities that nourish your mind and soul. Let's take control of our digital lives and find peace in the present moment. Our brains are remarkably complex organs, capable of astonishing feats of learning and creativity. They allow us to solve intricate problems, create art, and communicate in ways that no other species can. The human brain is a marvel of evolution, with billions of neurons working in concert to process information, store memories, and generate thoughts. However, despite their incredible capabilities, our brains are not limitless in their capacity to process information. Just like any other system, they have their constraints and boundaries. Cognitive scientists use the term cognitive load to describe the mental effort required to perform a task. This concept helps us understand how our brains manage and allocate resources when faced with various challenges. Think of your brain as a computer with a finite amount of RAM. This analogy helps illustrate how our mental resources are limited and must be managed efficiently. Each task we engage in, from reading an email to solving a math problem, consumes a portion of this mental RAM. Whether it's a simple or complex task, it requires a certain amount of cognitive resources. When we overload our brains with too much information, we experience a phenomenon known as cognitive overload. This occurs when the demands placed on our cognitive system exceed its capacity. This overload manifests itself in a variety of ways. It can affect our ability to process new information, recall memories, and even perform simple tasks. We may feel overwhelmed, stressed, and unable to focus. These feelings are common when our cognitive load is too high, and they can significantly impact our daily lives. Our working memory, which is responsible for holding information in mind for short periods, becomes strained. This strain can make it difficult to keep track of multiple pieces of information at once. This can lead to difficulty concentrating, remembering information, and making decisions. When our cognitive load is too high, our ability to think clearly and make sound judgments is compromised. It's essential to recognize these limitations and manage our cognitive resources effectively to maintain mental well-being and productivity. Information overload is not a new phenomenon. It has been a part of human history for centuries, evolving with each technological advancement. As early as the 1st century AD, the Roman philosopher Seneca the Younger lamented the overwhelming amount of information available in the libraries of his time. He noted that the abundance of books could be more distracting than enlightening. However, the digital revolution has ushered in an unprecedented era of information abundance. Unlike the libraries of ancient times, today's information is not confined to physical spaces. It is omnipresent, accessible at the touch of a button, and constantly updating. The constant influx of digital stimulation has profound effects on our cognitive functions. Our brains are not wired to handle the sheer volume of data we encounter daily. This relentless bombardment can lead to cognitive fatigue, making it harder to focus on a single task. Studies have shown that exposure to excessive information can lead to reduced attention span. The constant stream of notifications and updates trains our brains to crave novelty and instant gratification. This can make it challenging to engage in deep, meaningful work or even enjoy leisure activities without distraction. Impaired memory is another consequence of information overload. When we are constantly bombarded with new information, it becomes more difficult to encode and store memories effectively. Our brains struggle to filter out irrelevant data, leading to a cluttered mental space. Increased stress and anxiety are also significant issues. Information overload can trigger the release of stress hormones, leading to feelings of overwhelm and anxiety. The constant barrage of alarming news and social media updates can exacerbate these feelings, making it difficult to find peace of mind. It's essential to recognize the signs of information overload and take steps to manage our digital consumption. Simple practices like setting boundaries for screen time, taking regular breaks, and engaging in offline activities can help mitigate the effects. Mindfulness and meditation can also be powerful tools in reclaiming our mental clarity and well-being. One of the most alarming consequences of our hyper-connected world is the shrinking human attention span. A 2015 study by Microsoft found that the average human attention span had fallen to just 8 seconds, shorter than that of a goldfish. While the methodology of this study has been debated, there is no doubt that our digital habits are reshaping our ability to focus. The constant distractions of the digital world train our brains to seek out novelty and instant gratification. This has profound implications for our ability to engage in deep work, the kind of focused concentration required for complex problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. In today's fast-paced world, multitasking has become a badge of honor. We pride ourselves on our ability to juggle emails, text messages, and social media updates while simultaneously trying to work or study. However, research has shown that multitasking is a myth. Our brains are not wired to focus on multiple tasks simultaneously. Instead, when we attempt to multitask, we are rapidly switching our attention between tasks. This constant task switching comes at a cost, leading to reduced productivity. Studies have shown that multitasking can reduce productivity by up to 40%, increased errors. When our attention is divided, we are more likely to make mistakes. Heightened stress levels, the constant pressure to multitask can take a toll on our mental health. Rather than trying to do everything at once, we need to embrace the power of single tasking.